Welcome back to the Urog podcast. Kyle's still taking notes. He's a slacker. This is going to be our week 15 outlook with a little bit of a recap of week 14, just some small things we're going to cover. A few little hit and miss things going around the NFL. Especially, we've got some big topics to talk about with 37 players, I believe, today. Today is Tuesday.
Yeah,
tested positive for COVID. That's a big thing to cover. I don't know. I don't like that.
We'll go ahead and start with that. So, like Gavin said, 37 positive tests for COVID around the NFL today. It's a new league high since COVID's been around, and that means to tell you that it's spreading around the league, and it could become a problem here. A couple NHL games got canceled today. I don't know if any NFL games will be canceled, but it is spreading around the sports world. I just hope we're not heading down to a trend where we have to do a bubble again or we shut down again and shut the sports stuff. That
would suck.
I'm hoping we don't go through that again. There's no point at this point.
Well, there is a point. But
one thing I wasn't a fan of is the Tyler Higbee thing. Yeah, he was told right before game time. I mentioned it to Gavin before. Told right before game time on Monday night that he couldn't play. He tested positive a night or two before, and then he followed with 2 negatives. And he's fully vaxxed. So what are we doing? You test positive, and then you have 2 negative tests afterwards. Why aren't you on the field playing?
Well, what
is the point?
The NFL's got to make up a ruling on that. They got to come up with something because false positives are definitely a thing.
100%.
You know how many people have dealt with that?
Yeah, and what's
people
the point?
Get tested multiple times. The first one comes back positive. So, now I'm going to go get tested.
So what was the point of even testing him 2 more times?
Tyler Higbee did, you're screwed.
What was the point of testing him 2 more times if it had no implication on him
playing? That's what I don't understand.
If it had no implication on him playing, why would you even test him 2 more times?
Well, maybe he can come back to practice earlier.
If I was Tyler Higbee, I would have flipped my shit in the NFL. I would have lost it.
Luckily for him, he's on a good team where if he doesn't play, they can still win the game against the technical best team.
Oh, I know so many people, by the way, last night that fell for the whole, oh my God, Jalen Ramsey's out, Tyler Higbee's out,
Jalen Ramsey hasn't.
I'm going to throw bread on the Cardinals.
He hasn't been that good.
Dude, I know so many people that threw bread on the Cardinals now.
I said the Rams the whole time.
I like the Rams too.
I said the Rams the whole time. I just didn't want to lose any more money. So
COVID's basically becoming a problem. So hopefully we can stop talking about this and it doesn't pick up around the league.
It probably will.
It seems like it's going to.
As we see everywhere,
the Jets
have masks everywhere now.
Yeah,
back.
That's also just New York, but the Jets had their no in-person meetings this week, so that if you're betting that game, could have an implication on their game. No in-person meetings. They're practicing.
That doesn't affect that game at all. The Jets are terrible.
Here's what makes no sense too. They're practicing. They're allowed to practice, but they can't have in-person meetings with each other and be in the same room. Meanwhile, they can touch the same football and go against each other in practice. In what world does that make sense?
Well, it's like...
that makes no sense.
Well, it's like the ruling how you don't have to wear a mask if you're outside, like in public, but you're inside a building. But like, say you're in a mall. It's all spread out. Okay, we're getting way too on the COVID. We're gonna leave that there.
Okay, yeah,
we're digging ourselves in a hole that we don't need to get to.
It's getting ridiculous. But, so we're going to start with a new segment kind of that we're introducing. Now that we're getting down to the nitty-gritty December football days, and it's kind of put up or shut up time around the league, we're going to start with a segment called Coaching Hot or Not. So self-explanatory, whether these coaches are on the hot seat or not. We got 6 coaches to debate. Should be pretty interesting. We got a couple coaches that I don't even know how they're still currently employed. So without further ado, we will start, Gavin, with the one I was referencing when I said I don't know how he's employed. Urban Meyer currently has the Jaguars at 2-11. We have seen Trevor Lawrence, who's supposed to be a generational talent, come out the gates and look like he has no idea what to do on a football field. What are your thoughts? Is his seat hot or is it not?
His seat's 100%. It's hot, but I don't think they're gonna. It sucks because the team's just terrible. He obviously hasn't done a good job, outside of the game itself. He's brought in enough PR issues, you could say.
No, that's an understatement.
So, if he didn't have any of those issues, I think he'd definitely be locked in for another year. I think they'd give him a second-year opportunity, first year in the NFL as a coach, dealing with a rookie quarterback and really no one around him to play. Offensive line is nothing, no receivers. But since he's had all the extracurricular activities that have been dog shit, especially how he talked to his entire staff, he's definitely on the hot seat. And I could definitely see him not being their coach next year, not being an NFL coach next year.
Here's what we'll do moving forward with this segment. So we're going to act as if, say you were the GM, the current acting GM of this coach's team. Make your decision. Is this coach coming back or are you firing him after this season?
I think he's still got weeks to prove himself. I don't want to make the determination. I definitely am saying as of now, I'm definitely leaning towards he's gone.
Okay. And so my take on this is Urban Meyer's 100% out the window. If not after this Sunday, he's out 100% at the end of the season. Mostly because of off-the-field stuff.
Yes.
Like, yes, his product looks terrible on the field. It looks like he's done nothing for Trevor Lawrence. We've seen coaches come from college and be successful in college that don't find success in the NFL. It's a completely different game of football. Anybody who tells you it's not doesn't know football. But it's completely different. It doesn't look like he's adjusting well. You made a good point. He has very little talent. However, it looks like they have no fight. Like, you see the Lions, they have no talent. They play hard. You see the Texans, they have no talent. They play hard. The Jets, for the most part, as much as they stink, they have no talent besides a little bit on offense, but they play hard. This Jags team just gets steamrolled and looks like they don't give any effort.
That's true.
So when you have a veteran receiver, Marvin Jones, who's like 32, and he's been around the league and he's very well respected, walk out of practice, walk out of meetings because Urban Meyer is disrespecting him, and you see him. One, you got the whole stunt with him at his own bar.
That was stupid.
You got him before he even coached a game in the NFL. Hired a coach from Iowa, a strength coach that was fired from Iowa for making racist comments, and he thought it was a good idea to hire him. And then you bring up this thing where he's like, okay, if we have a leak of information, they're fired immediately. And he called out his coach and called him. He called his coaches losers in front of your team. He's out the window. For me, if I'm the GM, I'm saying you can coach the last 3 or 4 games, but you're done after this. Collect your paycheck, get out of my building.
I can see it.
My commitment is to my first-round quarterback and building this team from the ground up, and you are not the kind of culture builder we want.
Sir.
Next one, Kevin Stefanski for the Browns. 7-6 right now as they stand. In his second year.
I know. I'm gonna say you give him another shot. I don't hate Kevin Stefanski, and I also don't hate the Browns. The Browns obviously underperformed thus far, and they're not gonna make the playoffs, I don't think. But they have a chance. They still have a chance, and that gives me support for him and giving him another year to try and figure it out. I mean, especially they started off with the stupid Odell issue for the first however many weeks and dealing with that. And Baker Mayfield definitely hurt. He's been consistently hurt for, I'd say, majority of the season where he's not playing at 100%. I'd say give him one more year. I don't really need to touch more on that. I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a pretty good coach.
Okay, here's my take. I think he's a good offensive coach. However, the only knock I had on that hire to begin with was when he was the Vikings offensive coordinator. The playoff game against the 49ers, he had like 3 first downs the whole game.
That 49ers defense was...
It was disgusting. It was the year they went to the Super Bowl, I believe.
Yes.
But regardless, 3 first downs in a 60-minute NFL game is disgusting and pitiful.
Terrible.
With that being said, he brought the Browns to the divisional round last year for the first time in however many years.
Yes.
He had Baker playing like a first overall pick last year. This year, we've seen tremendous regression in Baker, but however, like you said, a lot of it is
I'm not putting
injuries.
that all on him.
I'm not either. A lot of it's because of injuries. We saw the whole Odell thing, how that went down. It seems like he might be losing a little bit of connection between him and Baker, him and his quarterback. So if I'm the GM, I need to address it with Stefanski and say, hey, what is going on with you and Baker? What is going on with your team? And you kind of need to gauge whether this team is losing respect for him or not. I do think he's a good coach. I think he has a bright future as a head coach. I think his feet is hot. I think it has to be because of the way the Browns have regressed. And the Browns are borderline win-now mode within the next 2-3 years, the way they're built.
I think next year more or less. I think this year's kind of
So I think I will, as of now, I'd give him one more year unless these next 4 games he goes out and absolutely puts a shit product on the field. Other than that, I'd give him next year unless he gives me a reason not to in these next 4 or 5 games.
That's fair.
All right, next one. I love this discussion. Joe Judge for the New York Giants, currently sitting at 4-9. You're the GM. What are you doing?
I don't know, because that team is just. I think the Giants just have so many areas they need to work with. I don't think it's a good time to get rid of a coach. I mean, if they're going for a new quarterback, which I think they will.
Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know if they will because it's not a quarterback-heavy draft class. Not a lot of good first-round talent.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's gonna be a race for Kenny Pickett at the top.
I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I think you can leave. I think you can keep Joe Judge.
Okay.
Yes, they're 4-9, but they're 4-9 because they're
lack of talent.
Yeah, lack of talent for sure. And Daniel Jones just
poop.
Yeah, I don't think he's good at all. I think they needed a quarterback.
All right, here's my take on this thing. If I'm the GM, I'm firing myself. That GM, Dave Gettleman, has done an absolutely atrocious job of building a team from the ground up. He took over in like 2017.
That's true.
You drafted Daniel Jones at the 6th pick, which was a reach. Absolute reach. You picked a quarterback out of Duke. I heard a statistic. English is hard. I heard a statistic today on TV Daniel Jones at Duke had a 59% completion percentage, and against top 25 teams in the whether it's in the ACC or any top 25 team they played, he averaged 155 passing yards a game. So
I did not
granted,
know that stat.
Granted, Duke has less talent, but you clearly reached for him. It's showing in the NFL he's had turnover problems.
That's ridiculous, though. That's terrible numbers.
So
You're still in college. You're still in college. You can still.
But long story short, I'm not ready to give up on Joe Judge yet. My one knock I have on him is, one, you hired Jason Garrett as your offensive coordinator. That was a horrible move. Good that's a hindsight take, but it's a horrible move. And then two, be yourself. I feel like this guy tries to be too much like Bill Belichick, and he's just not.
Yeah.
Like, be yourself. He tries to install the Patriot way with the Giants, who have a completely different culture and a completely different roster. Like, don't be Bill. You're not Bill. Be yourself.
You can't do that overnight.
Yeah. Like,
people don't respect you like that.
Right. I think it's the same thing that we saw with Matt Patricia on the Lions. He tried to do the same thing with the Lions, and he lost his team after the first year or two.
Yeah,
and he worked himself out of a job because he tried to be Bill, and you're not Bill. You know, that's why I think Brian Flores in Miami has done very well. He's being himself. Mike Vrabel is being himself. He's not being Bill Belichick.
Yeah, like when Josh McDaniels left the first time to go to the Broncos. Not the first time, the only time as of now. He did the same thing.
Yeah, like, be yourself.
Bill O'Brien.
You can use their culture and their philosophies and stuff, but at the end of the day, you got to have your own set of culture and your own thoughts and ways to go about things.
You're not following the military aspect there.
Yeah, like, you're not Bill Belichick. You're not going to be the same
straight face
65-year-old, Patriot way type of guy.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
So I retain him for one more year. Try to build on this roster next year, and then next year prove it to me. Prove me why you should keep your job. All right, so our fourth coach we're going to talk about is the Broncos head coach, Vic Fangio, currently sitting at 7-6.
I think he's fine.
Think he's fine?
I think the Broncos have performed better than I thought they were. I didn't think they were going to do anywhere near that good. I think I called them a 5-win team before the season started.
I did too.
So, outperforming in my opinion. Let them ride. I mean, they got a lot of work to do, obviously. But their defense has played really well. I mean, even since they got rid of Von Miller, they've been playing unbelievable.
Almost better.
Yeah. Realistically, it seems like it. So, yeah, I'm saying keep him.
Yeah, I think keep him too. I think he has a decent culture going on over there. He doesn't really have... he has a good secondary. That Pat Surtain pick, I know the GM makes the pick, but that corner is disgusting. The kid from Alabama. I'd like to see Javonte Williams play more than Melvin Gordon moving forward. That kid's also gross. But, Teddy Bridgewater's his quarterback, and Teddy Bridgewater is the disgrace of a quarterback at this point in his career. I've watched a couple games where it's just like, he looks absolutely horrible. He's a bottom 5 quarterback, in my opinion, right now. Although he does cover a lot.
I was going to say,
he does cover a lot. But, dude, I'm more specifically talking about the Chiefs game. If you watch that primetime game, he was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Well, the Chiefs' defense looks phenomenal.
It has lately, yeah. But he has weapons. Let's not. Jerry Jeudy's back. Cortland Sutton's playing. Tim Patrick's playing. Like, Noah Fant's playing. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon. Like, he has weapons, and he's only averaging
more than enough weapons.
Right, and his offensive line is okay. I'm not gonna say it's good.
They're decent.
Yeah. So I think if he can,
middle of the pack.
I think they might be in the quarterback market this year because Drew Lock stinks. Teddy Bridgewater stinks.
Yeah.
They could either trade or get a free
trade
agent.
for Zach Wilson.
No, he's gonna be a backup by next year, hopefully. Yeah. But we'll get to Zach Wilson later. I'm going to talk about him. But yeah, I'm keeping Vic Fangio.
All right.
Next one, Pete Carroll. Seahawks currently sitting at 5-8. Pete Carroll's also like 73 years old.
But it's up to him if he wants to leave. They're not getting rid of him.
You think?
No way.
Is that kind of like a loyalty thing?
It's a loyalty thing, and Russell Wilson missed how many games?
Russell Wilson might not be back.
Yeah, but either way, you're not going to... No way they get rid of Pete Carroll unless Pete Carroll decides to leave himself. Which he might decide to leave himself if Russell Wilson leaves.
Here's my thing on Pete Carroll. So they're 5-8, and they don't really have any immediate future because the Jets have their first-round pick. They have a safety, Jamal Adams, who's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
They don't really have a lot of building blocks on offense besides their 2 receivers. Their offensive line stinks.
Which I could see him not wanting to deal with that leaving.
Russell Wilson's probably going to leave. Here's my thing. I think the general manager needs to make a decision. Are you going to fully commit to a rebuild, or are you going to try to stay in win-now mode? The answer is if you're in win now mode, you keep him. If you're starting a rebuild,
but they're not in win now mode. They can't be.
But Russell Wilson's gonna be 34 next year, so you're getting to that territory where it's either win now or completely restart. There's no in between at this point.
I think they should completely restart.
I do too.
Might as well get ahead
And I
of
think if you completely restart, you move on from Russell Wilson. You can get a ton of picks for him. and you let Pete Carroll go and let a new coach come in and get his own guys in.
I mean,
That's my opinion.
I don't know. You get a ton of picks for him. What team's willing to give up?
Dude, a team like the Giants.
Yeah, but what do you get? They're not going to do. Get rid of 3 first-round picks.
Why?
I think that's stupid. When teams do that for a player, I think it's the dumbest damn thing.
You think the Steelers, who could be in win-now mode next year, wouldn't trade 3 first-rounders?
No.
For Russell Wilson?
Nope. 3 first-round picks.
I absolutely think they would.
3 first-round picks?
Yes.
No, that's stupid.
The Steelers next year, they get an offensive lineman in the free agent market, and they get Russell Wilson, they're a contender right away.
No, I agree. They're a contender right away.
There's a lot of teams.
The trading 3 first-round picks.
Say the Browns move on from Baker and they decide to get Russell Wilson. They're also a contender right away.
They're not dropping 3 first-round picks.
Okay. I just think we're going to see a lot of teams moving forward, if the Rams succeed this year, behave like the Rams and say, hey, we're going to rely on guys that are proven and guys that are winners rather than first-round picks that could be a bust.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If it works out for the Rams.
Wasting 3 picks.
So what are you doing? Would you fire him after this year?
Pete Carroll, no.
See, I would. I'd completely restart.
I'm leaving it on the table because
I wouldn't fire him.
You're not firing him.
I would say we're moving in a different direction.
If Russell Wilson's going and then you flip to rebuild mode, you bring it up. You're like, we need to figure out a direction here.
Yeah.
You're not firing Pete Carroll like that. You'd be like, we need to try and.
But here's the thing: Pete Carroll in the last 3 years has been through 3 different offensive coordinators. You can't find one that sticks because you just can't agree on a philosophy with them.
Or Russell Wilson can't agree on a philosophy with them.
I don't think Russell Wilson's the
offense. I don't think he's a problem either. I'm just saying it could go both
ways.
Right.
And our last coach we were talking about, Matt Rule for the Carolina Panthers. I didn't write his record down. I believe they have 5 wins. I think they're 5-8.
I think he's good. Their defense is good. They just don't have a quarterback. That's the problem. Cam Newton's terrible, as we can see. Unbelievably bad. They're not going to move the ball this week. I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that game.
We'll get into that game a little bit.
Well, we're not really going to. That's not really one of the main ones we're going to talk about. Either way, they are not moving the ball this week.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm the same with you. I think their defense is top 5 in the league.
Very good.
They've done a good job of building their defense, and you can't really. I mean, I guess this kind of applies to Joe Judge too. You can't really judge an offensive coach. Matt Rule's an offensive guy.
Yeah.
You really can't judge an offensive coach that doesn't have a competent quarterback. He has rotated between Sam Darnold, Cam Newton, and P.J. Walker. I can't think of a worse quarterback rotation other than maybe the 2015 Jets with Geno Smith and Bryce Petty. I really can't.
Good comparison.
Right? I can't think of another quarterback room that has been worse in the last 10 years of recent memory. That is the worst quarterback room I've ever seen.
That is pretty terrible.
I might take Geno Smith and Bryce Petty over that quarterback room at this point in time because Cam Newton's not what he used to be.
Cam Newton is, I don't know what happened.
P.J. Walker went into a game, went 3 for 17.
And I think Cam Newton needs to eat a steak. It's because he's a vegan now.
Yeah. Well, we've seen with people in history, you become a vegan and your bones give out and you get hurt all the time.
You become weaker.
Don't be a vegan. But I'm keeping Matt Rule 100%. He's got to find a new offensive coordinator, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I like that.
They'll move in a good direction. All right, so before we get to our Week 15 outlook, I just want to talk about Zach Wilson. Gavin said he would let me. So this is a recurring theme. Last week I was talking about Zach Wilson. Hey, Rookie of the Week. Only 2-time Rookie of the Week winner. This week
He got shithead of the week this week.
Yeah, this week I tweeted in the middle of the game. I tweeted at the Jets owner and said, okay, the experiment's over. Time to move on. I kid you not. I witnessed 2 throws that Zach Wilson made that made me want to absolutely throw up everything in my stomach. On one, he rolled out to the right. Tight end slipped. He chipped and slipped. Nobody within...
Chipped.
Well, chip block.
Yeah.
Nobody within 7-8 yards of him, and he threw it at his feet. Easy first down. Absolutely disgusting. And then the next one, I brought it up in the podcast that we talked about when the Jets played the Falcons. Zach Wilson can't throw a bubble. He can't throw a bubble. A bubble, Gavin. A bubble. We had 7 quarterbacks on my football team at Endicott College. All 7 make that throw 10 out of 10 times. All 7 of them. Division III. Even the 7th stringer makes that throw 10 times out of 10. And this is a guy getting paid millions of dollars. It was an RPO, right? It was the right read. Freaking bounced past it at his feet, 4 yards in front of his feet. I would have benched him right on the spot. Now, okay, my Jets fan taken out of it, okay? That was my rant.
No, he sucks.
He's horrible. He's absolutely terrible.
Outside looking in, he is terrible.
But
waste of a 2nd overall pick.
I mean, it's a little early to tell that.
Don't know.
But I think he's terrible too. I already gave up on him. However, if I'm the Jets offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, moving forward, I'm taking out 95% of our RPOs moving forward because his mechanics are absolutely atrocious. I'm taking out RPOs because that's where his mechanics go out the window the most, and I'm getting him out of the pocket more. I'm not keeping him in the pocket. It all starts with his footwork. And I coach high school quarterbacks, and I played quarterback in high school or in college. His footwork is he tries to throw like Aaron Rodgers, but buddy, you're not Aaron Rodgers. Like he doesn't bring his back half through, and it skids it behind him. It makes no sense. There's only two other quarterbacks in the league, Pat Mahomes and Rodgers, that can throw like that. Maybe Josh Allen. Maybe later in your career you can do it. Not right now. Clearly.
I just think he's terrible.
His inaccuracy is, like, granted he was playing without his top two receivers this week, but he was missing throws.
Yeah, but really, what's the difference between your top two receivers when you're the Jets?
Well, my point is, like...
It's not a big drop-off.
I mean, Elijah Moore's a stud, and he would be the best receiver on the Patriots. Anyway, moving forward, like, if a receiver's open, you have to hit them. You have to hit him, and he's just missing them by a lot.
He loves overthrowing.
He's not just putting it behind him.
Dude, in the middle of the field, he overthrows every damn
10
pass.
10 feet over his head?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
10 feet over his head.
That's the funniest thing I see.
It's
Forget him
getting
throwing
bad.
the ground in the bubble. He throws it over everybody's damn head.
Now, I'm an honorable guy. I will stick by my morals. I'm not ready to give up on him because it's still his rookie year, and he's still got a lot to go.
Of shit for not giving up on him there. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I mean, he stinks. As you can tell, I'm a Jets fan. I'm back and forth here. I'm not ready to give up on him, but he stinks. He has a lot of work to do.
All right.
A lot of work to do in mechanics.
That's fair.
Let's get into our Week 15 outlook, please.
Chiefs, Chargers.
Thursday night game.
Yep, Chargers are +3.
Rashawn Slater, the left tackle for the Chargers,
it's
is out.
The Chargers. It's at the Chargers.
The Chargers left tackle is out. One of the best left tackles in the league.
That hurts bad.
It hurts bad.
Justin Herbert can move, though.
He can. That throw he made last week was one of the best throws I've seen all
That was
season.
unbelievable. I don't know.
One of the best throws I've seen all year.
I don't know how that played out so well. That was perfect. It just dropped to him.
He put it 60 yards on a dot.
I don't get it.
In his breadbasket.
That was probably the best throw.
And that's the
I've
thing.
ever seen.
That's the throws he was making in college. But everyone called me an idiot when I said he was better than Tua coming out of college. He was making the same throws at Oregon. Just he played in the Pac-12, so people didn't buy it. You know.
Either way, yeah, that was probably one of the best throws.
He is that dude. But I would lean Chiefs here. To be honest with you.
The fact that the Chargers are only +3 is. I think that line's going to move. I think we'll see 4.5 or 5.
Well, if you think about it, the Chargers are home. The Chiefs are technically a 6-point favorite because of the home field advantage.
Yeah, but drop that because we're still betting the damn game.
But you're missing.
The Chiefs are on a roll. They're missing their left tackle.
Yes.
The Chiefs' offense is starting to pick up a little steam. They're rolling downhill now.
Mm-hmm. And if you're going to bet this game, I would highly suggest you bet Clyde Edwards-Helaire over because they're going to pound the rock because the Chargers are the worst run defense in the league.
Good point.
Maybe even bet Pat Mahomes under, but Pat Mahomes looked like himself last week.
Yeah.
Granted, he played the Raiders, but the Chiefs look like they're back. They're the hottest team in football. They've won besides the Patriots. They've won 6 in a row. So I'm leaning Chiefs here.
I'm 100% leaning Chiefs here too.
I think everybody's going to look at that throw.
I think it's divisional. Keep that in mind.
Yes, it is a divisional game. So that's why the line is so close.
But
the Chargers beat them last time, right, in Arrowhead. Yeah, yes. Earlier in the year. They beat them in Arrowhead.
Like what week?
That was early, first 5 weeks.
Very early, and that's when the Chiefs were kind of slow.
Yes.
So I think this is their get back.
I like the Chiefs too. Whoa!
Yep.
By the way, breaking news: NFL has now had 75 positive COVID tests in the last 2 days.
Holy shit!
That's bad. But yes, I like the Chiefs.
We're coming down to a lockdown again. Okay.
Yep.
Next game, Pats Colts. The Pats are actually getting 2.5 points.
Colts all day.
It's in
Give
Indianapolis.
me the Colts all day.
The Pats always beat the Colts.
This is
it's
the
just
Mac
science.
Jones failure game.
It just happens.
This is where Mac Jones looks like a
Jones
rookie.
is going to throw for 350. 3 TDs.
300 yards over under Mac Jones.
Well, what's the actual over under?
I don't know. It hasn't come out yet.
It's got to be like 240.
Probably. But you said 350, so I'm giving you 50 yards.
Well, I think he could do it.
I could do it too, but I'm not going to.
You could do shit.
But I love the Colts here. Colts are a hot team.
He just hates the Patriots.
I do hate the Patriots. Colts are a hot team. Patriots are a
hot team. 7 in a row. And coming off a bye week. Coming off a damn bye week.
Mac Jones didn't even throw last
Exactly. He's ready to rock.
His shoulder's going to be rusty. He probably had a couple cheeseburgers after the game.
I would too.
He's already fat as it is, so it's going to weigh him down. He can't move outside the pocket.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So they're just going to contain him, make him
Maybe if Zach
up.
Wilson ate a damn cheeseburger, he'd be able to throw the ball. Jesus. Clown. You're the Pats.
See,
Plus 2.5.
This is what I don't like. Everyone personally attacks me about Zach Wilson. When have I ever said Zach Wilson's good?
You're still giving him a chance. I don't. That doesn't.
Well, yeah, he's my team's quarterback.
The guy.
I gave Sam Darnold a chance for 3 years
for
too.
10 minutes, and then you just say, You're still my quarterback. I'm still
He
going to
is my quarterback.
But whatever the hell his name was,
until he's
Josh
not my
Johnson,
quarterback, I have to defend him.
That's fair, I guess. Not
Like,
really.
I defended Sam Darnold for 3 years.
I don't know. I think, but when it's time to move on, it's time to move on. If you made a
Yeah,
bad
it's not
decision,
time to move on yet.
it is.
If he's,
they made a bad decision.
it's too early to tell that.
You said they made a bad decision before.
I mean, I didn't want Zach Wilson from the get-go,
No.
but like it's
I
still
wanted
too
Mac
early to
Jones
tell.
the whole time. I said it
That's
last-
like that's
last
that's like
college
saying
season.
like that's like
Oh,
saying Peyton Manning was a bust after he threw 28 picks his rookie year and set the rookie record of picks.
Peyton Manning was a fluke.
Okay. Okay. Get back on
You don't
topic.
see many
Colts
people
minus
doing
2.5. I will be going to SantaCon Saturday morning, and I'm leaving SantaCon just to go watch this game because this is going to be a really good football game. This is going to be football porn.
Game. I'm going to have to make sure I find a spot to watch this game.
I need to make sure I don't have too many beverages because
Me too.
if I do, I'm going to put a boatload on the Colts. And that could
If
ruin
I
the
do,
whole
I'm
weekend.
going to put a boatload on the Pats. I'm going to put a boatload on the Pats.
So if we were smart, we would just bet it straight up to take the bookie juice out of it. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But let's not do
No,
that.
it's not fun.
There's no fun in that.
No fun in that. Bengals Broncos at the Broncos.
Trap
Broncos
game.
minus 1.5.
That's a trap game. Trust me.
It's always a trap game.
I love the Bengals and Joe Burrow. I love them. But it's really hard to play in Denver, first of all.
Fair.
2, Javonte Williams is picking up steam.
Also fair.
And as we said before, the Broncos are a very good team at covering.
They're both 7-6. They both have playoff implications
Playoff
coming up here.
This talk about make or break. We said it last week.
Yeah,
We said it last week with the Bengals.
This is
make or
there.
break.
This is there.
You go
Just like
500.
with the Bills this week. That's Bills.
Yeah,
That's a make or break.
7-6, yeah.
We don't need to talk
So
about
who are
that.
you taking? Are you taking? If you were to bet it, I'm not going to touch it.
Oh no, it's one of my best bets. I'm taking the Bengals.
I'm not touching it.
I'm going to the trap. Give me the trap.
I can't bet against Joe Burrow. I would never bet against Joe Burrow. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. But if I was betting it non-biased, I would probably bet the Broncos.
I'm falling for the trap.
Can't really go wrong betting that defense or those weapons in Denver. But I hope the Bengals win. I hope you win that bet.
I think the
do.
Bengals will win.
I might get a Joe Burrow jersey for myself for Christmas, black with the orange stripes.
For yourself?
So sexy. Oh yeah, for myself.
Fair enough.
You have to treat yourself, man.
Fair enough.
But
Packers Ravens in Baltimore.
oh.
Only a 4.5 point spread. Obviously, the home team 3 points, whatever.
And here's the thing that scares me about that. You see what Aaron Rodgers said after the last game? He said my toe is. So he has a toe injury.
Yeah.
That he said his surgery is the last resort. But he said it's progressively getting worse after every game.
Yeah, but they numb that. Yeah, it's because all they're doing is shooting him up with a damn shot and thinking it's numb as shit for the game. Then when it finally wears off, he finally feels that he was running on it for the last 4.5 hours and getting smoked and stepped on.
I mean, to me, here's the thing. We talked about it all season. The no-brainer picks, like the Cardinals on Monday night, are the ones that
Well, I don't
lose.
think this is a no-brainer pick. I don't
How?
think it is.
Lamar Jackson has played his worst football
He's
in
played
the
his
last
worst
6
football.
weeks of his career.
Yes, I agree.
The Ravens are all banged up.
But the fact that Aaron Rodgers saying that shit,
The Packers are one of the hottest teams in football. They're 11-2 against the spread.
they are 11-2 in spread.
I mean, everything that goes up must come down, so they're bound to lose again another game
I don't know.
against the spread.
I don't have any faith in the Ravens whatsoever.
I don't either. I don't either.
Yeah, I have zero faith in the Ravens at this point.
Not one bit. I would lean Packers.
They figured him out. They figured out the
Yes.
Ravens offense.
And Lamar is also not going to be fully healthy.
Yeah, and that also hurts.
So-
And the Packers defense is still playing good.
And that's another thing, though. With Lamar exited,
Well, Aaron Rodgers isn't
Lamar
healthy.
exited last week, and he's questionable this week, and the line's only
Yeah, he was in a
4.5.
boot, was it? No, it was just down.
That is sketchy to me. I'm just not. I'd rather not bet it than fall for a trap. Nothing makes me more angry
Sign
than
me
falling
up.
for a trap.
Sign me up. Last game we'll talk about.
Okay.
Just because it's divisional and the Saints always have the Bucks number. Saints-Bucks. It's in Tampa.
Now, one of my best bets is in this game.
Bucks minus 11. What do you got? The over?
No, the under.
You got the under.
Divisional
What's
game
the
under.
over 50? 51?
46.5. And
Ooh.
the reason I like
That's
that.
low.
The reason I
Well,
like
Saints,
that.
Saints offense is garbage.
The Saints offense is garbage. They're gonna have to. I mean, and here's the thing.
I don't know.
It might
That's
be
low.
It might be a Bucks blowout because the Saints are gonna have to run the ball with Taysom Hill and Kamara, and the Bucks are the best run defense in the league. So Taysom Hill's gonna kind of have to throw. So maybe now that I think about it,
I don't
maybe
like
it's not
that
a
under
best
at
bet.
all.
I just went with
46.5 is low. The Bucks can go out there and score 35 points.
and they might.
Easy.
Here's my logic behind it. If the Bucks get up big, they're going to run the clock out. I don't expect the Saints to score a lot. 2, Tom Brady has struggled against the Saints in his career with the
Yes, he
Bucks so
does.
far.
Yes, he does.
They lost to Taysom Hill, or They lost to Trevor Siemian last time they played.
Well, started off as Jameis Winston.
Yes, but it was like a tie game when
that's
Trevor Siemian took over.
That's why this game scares me, and I don't want to touch it. It's an 11-point spread too,
and it's a divisional game. I lean with the under here.
The fact that it's an 11-point spread, though, I don't.
The 11-point spread does.
That's why I'm like the Bucks are going to show up and beat them by 30.
So okay, so if it's a 35-10 game, the under hits.
Yeah, but what if it's 35-15? 35, not 15.
I mean,
21.
If I could tell the future,
I'm not
never
touching that game. Period. I want nothing to do with it.
I would maybe teaser the Bucks.
Maybe if it's going the way I think it is, and if it's 14-0 to start, fuck it.
I've been hot with teasers lately. I might teaser them. Do like a 3-team teaser.
I want nothing to do with it.
What would that line? It's 11.5.
It's 11.
It's 11. All right, so teaser them down to 5. I can make that work.
I can see that. I don't hate that.
Teaser them down to 5. You know.
I mean, I still think they smoke them.
And then here's the
personally,
thing.
But I just don't. I don't have that much faith in it, just because the way they play.
If I were to teaser them, and since we're getting into our best bets, this is why I'll say this. I would teaser Bucks -5, Bucks down to -5, Texans to +9.5 against the Jaguars, and Bengals to +7.5 against the Broncos.
What are you gonna pay $20 on that bet? 20
Well, no, 20 only wins 36, so I'd probably put like 50 on it to win 90. It's a 6-point teaser.
Lose that one too.
I actually love that now that I said it.
I do. I don't hate that.
I've been really good with teasers because teasers are good for somebody who gets a good read on lines, which I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but...
All right, best bets, because we're not doing that. That was weird. You don't do that.
Do what?
Talk about yourself like that. You suck. How much did you lose this week?
Not much. First of all, I hit a 3-team teaser this week. I hit a 6-team teaser last week. So I'm good at teasers, is what I meant. I'm not saying I'm good better.
Fair enough.
Which I am when it comes to football.
Best bets.
But
whatever. Best bets. Start off. I got the Rams. I had 4.5 is what I saw for a spread.
I saw 7. I saw 7 on my app.
Either way, even if it's 7, I'm still riding with the Rams over the Seahawks.
Is it in LA?
It's in LA.
Okay, that's a game changer.
It's in LA.
Oh, and while we're talking about the Rams, right? Stafford, his season this year is scary identical to Tom Brady's last year. Tom Brady started out hot with the Bucs. We're like, all right, here we go. Then he went through a struggle period. They lost to the Bears in Chicago. Went through a couple games where we were like, all right, father time has hit Tom Brady. And then came out strong, finished strong going into the playoffs. Matt Stafford started up here in MVP conversation.
Yep.
Went all the way down. We said, this is the same guy he was in Detroit. You can't win. And now we're on the way back up again where this guy is the it factor.
Yeah, that offense is starting to click.
Yeah, same.
So
the Rams' offense this year is very identical to the Bucs last year.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
That's what I'd say.
I'm with it.
And Odell looks like he's back in his prime.
We'll see. We got a little bit more time to come up with that one. Packers at Ravens. I got the Packers.
Okay.
-4.5. I mean, obviously we discussed it earlier. I think the Packers bowl them.
Yep.
And then, like I said earlier, also Bengals at Broncos. Give me the Bengals +1.5.
Okay. I hope for your sake that the Packers and Bengals are not traps and that I'm reading it wrong.
I'm falling for the damn trap. Let's ride.
Okay. So my best bets: Texans +3.5 against the Jags. As I said earlier, the Jaguars under Urban Meyer are absolutely not playing for him. They don't like him. What do you do when you want a coach to be fired at the end of the year? You don't play hard and you say screw it.
And
I'm playing for myself. So Texans actually play hard and actually enjoy football. So Texans +3.5, sprinkle the money line +155. I love Trevor Lawrence. Don't like Davis Mills, but I think the Texans are a harder playing football team right now.
I like that.
I have the Bucs Saints under 46.5.
He talked himself out of it.
I did talk myself out of it. That'll be a game time decision. Niners -8.5 at the Falcons. Niners getting hot at the right time.
Is Debo back?
Debo is back this week. He played last week.
I like that bet then too.
Kittle has become the best tight end in football because Travis Kelce's been struggling. He had back-to-back games with 100-plus yards and like 8 receptions and a touchdown. He's a stud. Jimmy G actually looks like if I'm the 49ers, I'm bringing Jimmy G right as of now back next year and saying Trey Lance take another year on the bench. Jimmy G is playing that well.
He's playing very well.
He's playing very well.
And George Kittle is just George Kittle. So.
And their defense actually looks capable. I don't buy the Falcons, especially with Calvin Ridley out.
That's fair.
Don't really have a run game. Have no ounce of defense. I like the Niners -8.5. Another teaser candidate. Teaser them down to 2.5. Cover your field goal.
fair. I like that.
Big teaser week, in my opinion. You know, if you're into teasers, Jared thinks it's a prideless bet, but money's money.
Money is money.
Money's money.
Jared, you're an idiot.
Jared says I'd rather lose than bet a teaser. Okay.
All right, lose.
Yeah.
Go ahead, lose
that
money.
Doesn't affect me. I'd rather win on a teaser.
I'll take money.
I'd rather win on a teaser. That's all we got. You anything else you want to talk about?
No, I mean we covered pretty much everything.
All right.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yes, it will. Should be a very good game.
We got the Saturday game.
We do the 2 Saturday games.
2 Saturday games, yeah.
Oh, the Browns have been hit hard by COVID.
Yes.
Seven players today on the COVID list.
Really?
2 offensive linemen.
And that's just going to keep going up because they're going to start testing. Everyone's going to be tested.
Yep. Not betting that game, but
no
check in next week. Next week we'll start talking about the playoffs and how they're shaping up. Thanks for watching.